Next on your agenda will be Norma talking about environmental degradation and destruction, staying kanji. And I'm actually going to, for sake of time, remind you all the rule that you gave me to administer, which is 5 minutes. Okay.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for coming.
Hello. Thank you for coming, everybody. When we arrive on Chappy, as residents or visitors, our primary visual experience is Chappaquiddick Road, a rural country road without improvements, one of the rare few left on the East Coast. No sidewalks, no curbs, no street lights, no storm drains, no roadside bike paths. Chappy's reputation for its unspoiled nature is well known, and all along the road are examples of that nature. Valuable native plants, useful berry bushes, ornamentals, rarities like the white lady slippers in front of our house, and the fern-leaved foxglove. These things are precious, provide habitat for lots of other wildlife, and disturbing them, ripping them up, creating roadside disturbance is a big invitation for invasive plants, for invasive species, which we also deal with here on Chappy. Other negative environmental impacts include fragile dune vegetation. There are 3 areas that come to mind that are vulnerable to the construction of the bike path plan as presented, and one is at the Gardner property. There's a lot of fragile dune vegetation there that will be disturbed or destroyed. Also at Caleb's Association Beach, Caleb's Beach Association at their beach, and at the Francis Conservation property, if the road has to be slid over to the side of the harbor, then a lot of that beach vegetation will be gone, as well as impacting the rest of the dune. In order to make a bike path travel alongside Chappaquiddick Road, there'll have to be bridges, many bridges built, wooden bridges of the type that you see along West Hisragertown Road, for example. And they're needed because there are many wetland areas all along the road, on both sides of the road. Our property is bookended by 2, and there are many in front of our property and behind, as well as along Dyke Road. These bridges are usually made with pressure-treated wood, and they're big obstructions that take away from this rural country road experience that we have on Chappy. Chappy looks like a farmland. It looks like a small island full of farmland. You would just never know there are 400 houses here when you drive down the roads. And I think that that's part of what makes this place incredibly special and rare. Coastal development is marching forward at an alarming rate, and we develop coastal areas to accommodate ourselves. And I think a bike path is a luxury that we impose on our fragile natural environment on Chappaquiddick that remains rare. So it turns it into more of a suburban feature than a rural feature. Also, our roadside topography of familiar ups and downs will have to be scraped and graded down to a flat and level surface. That's part of road widening and surface preparation for a bike path. They'll be covered with a material to keep them that way, either asphalt or some kind of stone dust. There are different materials being considered, and we don't know what it will be yet. But the removal of lots of trees and shrubs along the road means also loss of shade for those using the road. There will be many people who will continue to bike in the road and walk in the road, and they'll no longer have the benefit of the shady trees. Also, higher temperatures that will result may reduce native understory plants and invite more invasive species that capitalize on disturbance. The building process itself will have a negative impact. How many thousands of tons of material will need to be brought over on the ferry, and all the energy used to operate the bulldozers and front-end loaders and levelers and all the heavy equipment that will need to come over and work will have an impact. So I would just end by saying that the history of the Chappy Tar Road goes back relatively unchanged to the 1850s, when it served as a boundary for the Indian land set-off. Its age is reflected by the depth of the roadbed and road sides in some places. It also reflects Chappy's rural character, which we hope can be sustained in the future. Thank you.